Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
Hello dear friends, welcome back to NPTEL course on logistics and supply chain management. Today we'll start discussion on supply chain coordination. So under supply chain coordination we'll see majorly we have three players. One is supplier, backward supply chain, another one is manufacturer where we are converting the raw material into finished one, and then we hand over that finished product to the distributor, right? That is the forward supply chain, right? So we will talk about the coordination among all these three players, then we will see where we are lacking as we are talking about supply chain coordination, and what will be the effect on the performance when we are not coordinating throughout our one system, and we will talk about what are the obstacles we need to tap when we are talking about coordination in supply chain, some managerial actions how we can improve on that, and then we will specifically talk about the bullwhip effect as one of very big obstacle to coordination. We will end this session with a couple of cases. So coordination in the supply chain. So when talking about coordination, that means coordination all the functional activities within one organization like distributor, warehousing management agency, manufacturing, co-manufacturer, supplier, right? And within one functional unit, one stakeholder, what are functional units, right? All the functional units, marketing, production, quality, R&D, ISO, what are different units, HR department, purchase department. So coordination among all is the first priority within one organization, and then we are talking about coordination throughout the supply chain, means all the stakeholders involved in that, and those stakeholders are suppliers, manufacturers, distributors and retailers, right? So the goal of the coordination is to optimize the overall performance, and how we can do that by improving efficiency, reducing cost, enhancing responsiveness and ensuring the timely delivery. So very small example, let us say if we are very sure about the demand function, right? We know how much demand is going to be there tomorrow, right? So to meet that demand, obviously we will share this information electronically throughout the supply chain. So when we are sharing the same data throughout the supply chain without any modification, without the intervention of any individual stakeholder, that means same information will go to the supplier, same information will go to the manufacturer, to warehouse, to inventory, to transportation. So that means in that case we can optimize the functions, we can optimize the transportation function now, because transportation function knows that this is these many units we need to transport tomorrow, so we need this much truck capacity. Whether we can consolidate order for some other player or some other demand we can meet through that journey, or maybe this demand is individually enough, we can transport by utilizing the full capacity. This is one example, right? So this involves collaboration, information sharing and synchronization. Obviously information sharing, like I told you, electronically should be shared throughout the supply chain. Talking about the key elements, so demand forecasting is first, inventory management, production planning, transportation, logistics and communication system are some of the key elements where we need to focus when we are talking about the coordination in the supply chain. Let us talk about the backward supply chain and coordination with the suppliers. So first is demand forecast and planning. Collaborating forecasting, that means if as a manufacturer or seller I am predicting demand, I am managing the markets, my representatives are there in the market, they are giving me facts and figures, so that this is how I am designing the my demand function. how I will collaborate on collaborative forecasting when I will share the same production schedule with my suppliers, right. So, let us say if 2 suppliers or 3 suppliers are there, so that means if I need to manufacture 100 items, depending upon the rating, V1 is the highest vendor rated, right. So, maybe I will say I will seek maybe 45 units from this vendor, then maybe another 25 units from this vendor, right. Then maybe another V3 is moderately rated, so rest of the 40 items I will seek from this vendor. I think rest of 30 items, whatever. So, because the rating is V1 is highly rated, then V3, then V2, right. So, this is collaborative forecasting. This collaborative forecasting will happen only when there is a real time sharing of information. Whatever sales trend, market conditions as a manufacturer or service providers or product providers, we are realizing we are sharing the same information without any modification with our suppliers. Inventory management. Now, vendor managed inventory. If we are talking about we are implementing vendor managed inventory, so that vendor is responsible for managing the inventory throughout the supply chain, means up to the manufacturer. So, vendor may be managing the inventory in my manufacturing unit only, right, that also can happen, or maybe they are maintaining inventory in the nearby storage house. If whenever I need that, as per just in time, they will provide me the inventory. So, that also will happen when that close coordination is there, when I am allowing my vendor that you can use my facility and keep the inventory there, but I will pay you for that inventory when and as it is required and will be consumed through the production lines. So, this is another example of coordination in the with the suppliers. Another is quality assurance. Now, like we design the quality matrix, right. Now, this quality matrix, all the criteria what we are evaluating, we cannot keep those criteria with us only. Quality description sheet, like in the previous session we discussed about that, whatever if you are measuring screw length, screw dia or screw maybe thread dia, so then you need to tell to your vendor that these are the parameters important for for that particular component, and you need to maintain like these parameters within this preference limit, right. So, if you are sharing the quality standards, whatever we have set up, we need to share them so that we can minimize the need for returns, and so that no lot should be sent back to the vendor because of rejection. Continuous improvement, when we are recording all those parameters, we are know that maybe one parameter the process is deviating. We need to immediately inform our vendor that now we are deviating from the dimension and you need to take some improvement steps, CAPA, corrective action and preventive action, how you can implement that. So, the next point here is communication and collaboration. So, this will only happen sharing quality matrix, providing continuous feedback, minimizing the cost, allowing them to operate in your unit will only happen when you are communicating regularly in a transparent way. So, that means communication with suppliers and manufacturers. You need to align how you will align your manufacturers, your suppliers with your manufacturing strategies. If you are implementing just in time, you need to tell your supplier that this component we are looking for just in time. So, then only the person, that supplier will maintain just in time system. Maybe that supplier now needs some training, needs some help from you, some technology, somehow they can manage the inventory software, right. So, then you need to conduct the regular meetings with them. Integrated IT system, this is the platform where you can share that information, right, and you can track the information. If you are sharing feedback, how you are processing the order, how you are tracking the inventory, right, what are your production planning, right, how you are designing the production plans for different models you are running in your production house. So, if you are sharing that on the internet, that IT system, information technology, and same platform your vendors are attached, so then your vendor will get the information without any deviation. Now, let us talk about the other end of the supply chain, which is ending with the distributors. So, order fulfillment is the first function which our distributors are doing, right? How quickly you are responding to customer demand, you are picking the order, packing the order and distributing the order and the last mile delivery. How timely, efficiently you are ensuring that, right? So then you need to collaborate with your manufacturer, that these many units are demanded, these are the features demanded, this is the customer service level demanded. You need to replenish the inventory as you are distributing the product. Distribution planning, so this will happen. Distribution routes, you need to plan optimal routes and then schedule, optimize the logistics and reduce the transportation cost. So if you can optimize that transportation matrix, so obviously you can reduce the overall cost. Inventory management, stock replenishment, as you are replenishing, depleting the inventory, right? Now let's say, very simple example, we are going to Walmart, we are going to Vishal Mega Mart, we are going to Spencer's, one stop solution, or grocery store, big grocery store. So how it is happening, there is one shelf, they are maintaining all inventory on that shelf, right? So, and this is one shelf, right? And this same inventory somewhere they are maintaining in the warehouse as well, right? So they are keeping all those products in the warehouse. Now this is one, you can say, the inventory, the safety stock they are maintaining, and some stock they are maintaining on the shelf for daily selling purpose, right? Now if you are sharing this information, how many units are on the shelf with the manufacturer, with the suppliers, how many units are in the godown, this is transparent, right? So when you are moving the items on the shelf, today you moved maybe 500 items, that information should be shared with all the stakeholders, that 500 items are moved to the shelf, right, ready to be sold, right? So then let's say out of 500, 400 customers today picked the product, or maybe not today. Why today? Whole day we are compiling. Even single minute, if any customer is going to that shelf, picking the product, then he is going to billing counter, right? On that point of time, when you are scanning the code and generating the invoices, the billing information, that point of time, point of sale time, how you can share that information completely, that this moment 4 items are depleted from the shelf stock. So we maintained 500 inventory, now we are left with 496. So as soon as you will deplete, keep on depleting the inventory, the information will be shared with the transportation network, with the warehousing, with the manufacturer, with the co-manufacturer, with the distributor, with the raw material suppliers, right? So in that way you will be better in planning, in managing the inventory, keeping the safety stock. So that much item you need not to store. Customer service, reliable delivery. Now you are interacting to customer through your distributor only. Your retailer is the main stakeholder who is directly interacting with that person who is ultimately going to consume your product and services. So he is having the best information about the customer demand. Even if customer is rejecting your product, picking some other competitor product, why he is doing that? He is having that knowledge. How you can extract that information? Through your transparent or that fast communication network, right? Return management. If any customer is asking for the returns, how efficiently you are returning or exchanging the products, that will also happen through your distribution network only. And if you are providing return, we have seen that e-commerce industry is almost 50% of the customers are before placing order, they are visiting whether the returns are eligible or not, right? So then data sharing and analytics. Now regarding how you will plan your production, accordingly you will share that production schedule with your raw material supply. So that distributor is going to provide you the insights about the customer demand and market trends. Any fluctuation in the market trend you can record through your distribution network, right? And then you can track that using the latest software, you can analyze that, and then you can make decision that for today you need to run only 3 models out of the 5 models you are providing in the selling in the market, right? Because of whatever patterns you observed from the customer buying behavior, right? So performance matrix, What are the key performance indicators in terms of delivery accuracy, in terms of on-time delivery, in terms of on-time return pickup, in terms of correct billing information, in terms of customer satisfaction attached with so many different types of services we discussed you are providing to the customer, right? Collaboration and communication, joint business planning with the distributor. If you are promising efficient supply chain, how you can go for that, and then you can maintain the minimum inventory with the retailer so that you can be efficient, but you don't want to be stock out, right? So real time communication, advanced communication tool we can use, like the example I quoted. As soon as the customer is picking the product from the shelf and you are recording that through your sensors, so it should be shared throughout your network, right? So now coordination in the supply chain, we talked about manufacturer versus suppliers, manufacturer versus distributor, but suppliers versus distributor is also equally important. So let's talk about that, but before going to that, we'll see what are the interactions when we are going through the supply chain. See, suppliers provide the raw material as per the purchase order raised by the your manufacturing unit. Then our suppliers and distributor both are managing our inventory, because suppliers are managing the inventory of the raw material, distributors are maintaining the inventory of our finished good. But it's not only solely their responsibility. As the manufacturer, when we are predicting the demand in the market, we need to predict them that way. Having said that, that means we are predicting, we need to plan the production accordingly. How many models we need to run, how many units each model required, right? Then finished goods are delivered from the manufacturer to the distributor warehouse, from where the warehouse may be a kind of order fulfillment center, right? From where you are packing the product and finally delivering the product through end mile delivery network, right? Or maybe through the retailers, then you are selling the product, and maybe through your marketing advertisement, whatever you are doing directly to the customer, so then you are providing the product to the retailer. So these all are interactions happening through the supply chain. Just a quick review. Now, suppliers and distributor coordination points, purchase orders. So when distributor clearly communicates their need to the supplier through purchase order, that means I'm talking about the point of sales information. So through the distributor, it is not only directly going to the manufacturer, but it should go to the raw material supplier as well. Production plan. Accordingly, whatever you are placing order, or you are going to place order to the manufacturer, that order will be shared with the raw material supplier only, so that that will be effect should not be there, that you placed order for 5 items, then manufacturer planned for 15 items, and then accordingly they placed order for raw material suppliers for the 15 items. If you need 5 items only, so that should be, production plan should be for 5 items, and accordingly we should manage the inventory for producing the 5 items only, right? So delivery and transportation, this should be then again attached, because we need to ship only 5 items. So then that transportation will be efficient when they know that during that container they can ship maybe 15 items or 20 items, but still you are transporting only 5 items, right? So how you can, maybe you can consolidate orders from the other players or some other industries, so that you can properly utilize the capacity of the vehicle. Lack of supply chain coordination, and why it is there? Because there is no pure communication. The collaboration among different entities, one line, that line of communication is not connecting through all. So that means information which I was talking about, that should be shared throughout the network, is not that transparent, and that will leading to inefficiencies and suboptimal outcomes. One example is, let's say, again, because we are saying bullwhip effect, the one example is bullwhip effect only, where here the retailer placed the order for 10 items, distributor again keeping in mind the safety stock placed order for 15 items, then manufacturer started production for 25 items, placed order to raw material supplier for 30 items, right? So this is means inefficiency. Demand is only for 10 items, you are planning for 30, extra 20, that is inventory. So inventory cost is not optimal in that way. right? So bullwhip effect is caused by demand forecasting inaccuracies, when you are not accurate with the forecasting techniques, or sometimes what you do, instead of what is there is in manufacturer mind that if I'll produce 10, again changeover will be there for another model, then again few items will produce, then again we'll produce this one, let us produce in one go 30 items, right? So that way the cost per unit item, production cost we can decrease. So that means you are trying to order batching, consolidating, so that transportation manufacturing cost can be minimized. But you just imagine the inventory cost, handling cost, you are producing extra. So you need to make trade off between whether you are okay to take inventory cost more or you are okay with the manufacturing cost. Price fluctuations are also there sometimes, so that also cause bullwhip effect. Very quick example, you might have seen, if government is usually this happens because now there is market forces are deciding the crude oil price, and then accordingly companies are changing every day they are changing price, petrol and diesel price. But earlier what used to happen, they used to announce that today midnight we are going to revise petrol price by 5 rupees, up or down. So if it is up, you will see huge line will be there, like they will store the petrol for whole of the life. That is not happening, but still we have seen that. So anyway, if they can save 500 rupees is enough for them, right? But if it is going to reduce, no one will be there on the petrol pump, because after midnight you will get cheaper price. So this is also, price fluctuation will also sometimes cause bullwhip effect, because for that midnight, if it is going to drop maybe for 12 hours, 24 hours, whenever you got the information prior, you will not go to buy. But it's not that there is no demand, there is demand, but because people are waiting for that period, after that they will rush all, and then there will be suddenly spike in the demand. But actual demand is still saturated. In any city, the number of vehicles are still almost same, right? People driving cars or vehicles almost same, right? Lack of information sharing is there, right? So then we discuss this. Negative impact of the bullwhip: increased cost, excess inventory, stock out, right? So we'll discuss in detail how this overall, if there is no coordination in the supply chain, will affect our different cost, right? What are the obstacles to coordination in supply chain? First is inventive obstacles, because we don't want to innovate, we don't want to go for new technology. Even if the new technology is for betterment, still we will, as a human being, will show resistance to that, right? So that is very obvious human tendency. Information processing obstacles. So correct information we are not sharing with our stakeholders, somewhere because we are manipulating the processes. We don't want that if we are charging, one vendor is charging some other price, other vendor is charging some other price, we don't want that information to be transparent to every vendor, because then everyone will try to inflate the prices. Then quality level, how they are maintaining, and what we are expecting different level of services. Maybe for one vendor we have different negotiation policy, for other vendor we have different negotiation policy. So then we don't want to share the information. If those kind of things are there, so then obviously that will be obstacle to information. Then another is, maybe you want to share the information, the quick information coming from the customer throughout your supply chain, but you don't have that strong in IT platform where you are sharing the information, right? Operational obstacles, production bottlenecks or capacity constraints. Suddenly you are getting the demand, spike is there, but you are not able to meet because of your limited capacity. And then production bottlenecks, because some processes in the production are taking more time. Let's say, very simple example I will give you. This stage is taking 5 seconds, this is taking somewhere 6 seconds, this is taking 10 seconds, this is taking 7 seconds, again this stage is there taking 6 seconds, like this. So if I will try to smoothen this production line, I can see this third stage is taking almost double than the first stage. This is going to be the bottleneck in the production. How it is going to be the bottleneck? Because this person will produce 2, but it will be this person will be able to produce forward only 1. That means after every one cycle, there will be double inventory. So there will be the pile in the end of this their semi finished good, and maybe we need to smoothen this production bottleneck. We will assign 2 persons sitting on this stage, those can process 5 seconds, and we can smoothen on the production. The next bottleneck will be 7 seconds. So how we can remove those bottlenecks? So transportation delays, quality control problems. If you are struggling with the quality, your whole lot is maybe somewhere stuck at the OQC end. You have produced those many units, but your OQC department is saying, outgoing quality control is saying that there is some problem with the lot. You need to inspect the whole quality. That means you just imagine 50,000 items are packed, you are opening all the items because there is some serious concern, right? Pricing obstacles. I told you, because different pricing policy with different vendors, so then lack of transparency is there, right? And you want to keep the power negotiation power with you only, so then you don't want to disclose. Behavioral obstacle is one thing where I told you resistance to change, human nature, right? And then lack of trust is also there, because if we are operating in industry, there are some players, today maybe those are our suppliers, you never know, tomorrow they will grow so big that they will acquire our manufacturing unit, right? So or maybe they will start expanding into that particular industry. This happens many a time. So will be effect, this we have seen, the information is this much only, and over the stage how this is manipulated, how this is inflated, amplified, right? So the one very basic lesson from this is, if you are going to include so many players, then every stage there is amplification of the information. So if you reduce only 1 to 2, so this inflation will be reduced, right? So that means, but then there are some industries where you need this long structure. So what you will do? You can only implement IT infrastructure, your technology, where quick information sharing will be there, that any information is being recorded at any point, either distributor end or raw material supplier end or wholesaler or retailer, anywhere, doesn't matter, maybe 20 players are involved in that supply chain, even then same information you will throughout the network you will share transparently, right? So and how this is caused? Because of order batching, price fluctuation, lack of information sharing, we are facing this bullwhip effect, right? And when bullwhip effect is there, inefficiency, increased cost, excess inventory, stock out, poor customer service will be there. We will see how it will impact our performance. You can see manufacturing cost will increase. Now one person may say, argue that how manufacturing cost will increase, we are manufacturing 10 units or we are manufacturing 100 units. Yes, when you are manufacturing in bulk, then because once you will standardize the process, you can minimize the total cost per unit cost of production. But if you will quickly change over from one model to other model, then again there will be more cost, right? Inventory cost, there is no coordination, all are keeping the inventory. Retailer is also maintaining, distributor, wholesaler, carry forward agent, all those players, manufacturer is also maintaining the inventory, then co-manufacturers are maintaining raw material, everywhere you are maintaining inventory, and throughout this network you have deployed 20 storage houses, warehouses where you are keeping inventory. That all inventory is non-value adding activity, wastage, right? So that cost. Replenishment lead time, because those many players are there, no quick information sharing, lead time will increase, right? So transportation will increase, sometimes you are transporting 10 units, sometime 100 units, but the maximum unit you can transport 200. So that capacity you are not utilizing fully, right? Shipping and receiving cost will increase, level of product availability, because there is no clear communication. So sometimes you are storing extra inventory, sometimes you are out of stock, that will happen because there is no coordination. And profitability obviously will decrease. Why? Because this cost, overall cost will increase, so your margins will decrease. Some managerial actions we can take to improve the overall performance. We can define better pricing strategies, we can stabilize the orders, we can build those strategic partnership through the coordination. So first is aligning goals and incentives. Aligning goals across the supply chain. See, this will be only possible when all the stakeholders can see the win-win situation. If I am saying that we want to be responsive throughout our network, that means we need to maintain the inventory through our retailer, we need to maintain the variety, we need to provide the quality, we need to provide the highest level of services through our network. And network means distributor, retailer, or online if we are selling. So this responsiveness means throughout network we need to share variety. That means variety components will be delivered by raw material suppliers. Variety means retailer will maintain the variety, warehousing partner will maintain the variety, manufacturing unit, production unit will produce all the variety possible, right? So then you need to align. But then when you are saying variety you are providing and maximum share as a manufacturer you are capturing, so then why your retailer will be responsive? Because you are not you are sharing risk with him, but you are not sharing the incentives with him. So that incentives overall, whatever incentives are there, level of services you are providing, how much risk the person is taking or stakeholder is taking, throughout that methodologically, meticulously you should share the incentives also throughout that supply chain. Pricing for coordination. So now implementing pricing strategy, like we should not use lot size based quantity discount, but we should maybe two-part tariff, some fixed cost, some variable cost. Maybe if we are more volume, maybe incentives we can give, right? Discounts we can give if they are coming with the more quantity, right? Then contracts such as buyback, revenue sharing, and quantity flexibility can also optimize the product availability and supply chain profits, right? Alerting sales force incentive. So there is one approach, sell in. If you are selling to your retailer, that is not the ultimate objective. You should sell through your end product to the end user. Selling to retailer means your retailer is you only, one supply chain, right? So if you are producing, selling to retailer, but retailer is not able to sell further, then it is a problem. Then improving information visibility and accuracy. This is what I was talking about, point of sales data. So as soon as you are scanning that product code, quickly that information should be shared. This is what point of sale data is. Implementing, collaborating, forecasting and planning, where your all stakeholders are there, and if I am forecasting the demand, all the stakeholders should be there, and they should also see if I am looking for demand function, how accordingly transportation agency needs to behave, how accordingly warehousing needs to design their function, how accordingly raw material providers should plan their productions, right? Designing single stage control of replenishment. It should not be that retailer is placing order with the wholesaler, wholesaler is placing order with the distributor, distributor is placing with the manufacturer, manufacturer with co-manufacturer, co-manufacturer with the raw material supply. That should not happen. One replenishment order should be shared throughout the supply chain without any intervention in that, right? So we have some softwares for that, vendor managed inventory and warehouse management inventory, so that we can use for better decision making. Improving the overall performance, operational performance. So first is, if you can reduce the lead time, you are sure about the information, this much order is required, you can process that order, and then you can reduce the lead time, the delivery time you are required to deliver the product to the end customer. Reducing lot size. So smaller lot size reduce fluctuation between supply chain stages, but then smaller lot size problem is with manufacturing cost, that will increase, but then the inventory cost will decrease, right? So decreasing information distortion, that will help you if you are producing in small lot size, right? Operational improvement, that lower fixed ordering, transportation and receiving cost can facilitate this reduction in cost, right? Rationing. So based on your past data, like I talked about, that if there is sudden spike in the demand because they heard this news that today midnight petrol price is going to increase, so then everyone will go to your petrol pump and they will start refilling to the full capacity they have. They will fill all the cans whatever they are having, right? But how you can stabilize the demand during that? By implementing rationing schemes, right? So that is artificial inflation, because if today they are coming for with that all demand, if they are coming maybe after 2 days, then maybe for next 10 days they will not come. So what you will do during those 10 days? So you need to stabilize that demand. And next is designing pricing strategy to stabilize the orders. So again, the best strategy which is opted by Walmart is everyday low pricing. So we have seen that during the seasonal offers or maybe the festival season offers, the demand through your placing orders through Amazon, Flipkart increases by 60%. That means you are not stabilizing the demand. If you are not stabilizing the demand, during that time you need to produce more. That means you will acquire extra resources, machines, manpower, extra facility. But then because season is gone for, maybe that season is only for 1 month or 2 months, then after that what you will do with the extra resources? So the other strategy is how you can stabilize the demand uniformly, so that accordingly you can manage the capacity, and that capacity can be properly, you can efficiently use that full capacity. Building strategic partnership and trust. So trust and information sharing are two parameters which are important, only then your coordination will be there, right? So if you are sharing the full information with the stakeholders, you will get their trust as well, right? So, and in that way you need not to duplicate the efforts, right? If you are sharing partial information with them, or what if any conflict arises between, that can be there, right? Conflict can, stakeholders are going with you all the time, there can be conflicts related to delivery, related to quality, related to pricing, all that. But how you are negotiating, how you are settling the disputes. So whether you came across some common mechanism where you are implementing that and you are resolving all your conflicts, how efficiently you are doing that. And this already we have discussed, the supply chain macro processes, where we talked about in one session the customer relationship management forward supply chain, where we are talking about how we are selling the things, products to the customers or services, how we are negotiating, how we are dealing with their after sale services, order management, whatever queries customers are having, we are handling through customer relationship management. Internal supply chain, within that internal manufacturing unit, how we are planning the production, how we are scheduling our activities, how we are sequencing our activities, how we are utilizing the capacity, demand we are planning, supply we are planning. Supplier relationship management, all activities focusing on the relationship between supplier and manufacturer. So we are negotiating with them on quality, cost, price, variety, changeovers, different models, right? Any disputes, delivery, all those things, we are sharing the design specifications, all those things will happen with the supplier relationship management. So here is case study of Amazon, and we'll see quickly how Amazon has leveraged on this their strong IT infrastructure and developing very strong customer relationship management. And then this Amazon's CRM success is its ability to customize product offering to the individual customers. So whatever your tailored kind of supply chain, so where they are as per your requirement, they are providing you the products. Now you can also feed your requirements in the if any product specification, so accordingly they will provide you the products, right? So very strong with maintaining their customer relationship management. This is particularly one-click ordering system, where under industry 4.0 now Amazon is implementing. See, if I'm repetitively there are so many products we are buying, right? And very routine products are also there. If I'm taking sugar or tea, right? So tea leaves, whatever I'm buying a fixed brand, right? And in fixed size, right? So whenever I need to place order for tea, why I need to search all the brands, pick that brand, what is the size, what is the price. So there should be one push button, I am pressing that, immediately everything is done, the order is placed, the payment is also done automatically, because that is very fixed brand, and the Amazon should know that I am buying this sugar brand, this tea brand, this size, or any flavor or any product, right, in this much quantity. I am pushing that button, so they are providing you that this is under Industry 4.0, where you will just push the buttons and you will place the repetitive orders. So that information accurately is shared, because the routine orders, in that way Amazon can be efficient, right? And if any customized products are there, then you can provide your information and then they can provide that customized products as well. So you see, with this customer relationship, how efficiently they are managing. I need not to work those routine items, what extra you will do, right? You cannot do anything else. So this is one example. So see, there are rarest instances when customer need to call the center, right? So even if they need to call the center, Amazon should provide them the best positive experience. That means, because they are always facing problems, so many customers are calling, sometimes maybe wrong billing information, wrong product delivered in wrong, maybe a return is not picked, so many problems can be there. So then if it is there, how they are enhancing your experience? If they are experiencing heavy traffic on their call centers, they are just asking you that you can just push the callback button, send the message, we'll call you back as per your availability. You just mention the time, we'll call you back, right? So there are so many softwares, SAP, ERP, Oracle, Salesforce, Microsoft, they are managing all the products, but the beauty of Amazon's backend team, IT team, they are developing all these innovative platforms within house, right? So that is providing them the competitive edge. Another example is Hindustan Oil Limited, which is again financially they are doing very well, providing different products, and then also customer centric approach, where they are focusing on quality, they are focusing on delivery, research and development, the latest lubricants, oil, whatever products they are providing to you, right? So you can see their success can be attributed to its strategic approach that is based on customer satisfaction, commitment to quality and sustainability, investment in research and development, and that is happening through their efficient supply chain management that ensures the timely delivery, the variety, the quality, and to the large customer base, right? So they provide diverse range of products and services, including refining, marketing, distribution of petroleum products, right? And the revenue is also growing significantly, right? So this is and then they are ensuring the sustainability measures also, where they are promoting, you know, how they can reduce the carbon footprint, how they can, you know, deal with those, because petroleum products are, you know, usually when we are using those products, the high carbon footprint is there, but still they are coming with the countermeasure how and where they can reduce that, right? So we can conclude now this coordination among all the stakeholders, manufacturers, their forward supply chain with the distributor, reverse supply chain with the stakeholders, how they can collaborate, connect in such a way that any point of time they are getting any information that should be shared throughout, so that they can maintain that strong and healthy relationship built on trust, transparency, and shared goals. So incentives are also shared in that way. If my objective is also optimized, your objective is also optimized in that way, we'll all together work for that. So in that way, collaborating, planning, forecasting, and replenishment will help you, you know, to throughout the supply chain to manage the efficiency and effectiveness. So this is all about supply chain coordination. These are some of the references. So thank you very much.